Shelley Wade, host of the Goodness Factor podcast. As an antidote to the drumbeat of negative news we're inundated with on a daily basis, the Goodness Factor shines the spotlight on good news and good people doing good things. Each episode starts off with the Goodness Report, then we interview a do-gooder, and we end each episode by sharing a good word with you. Welcome to another episode of The Goodness Factor, where we report good news and shine a spotlight on good people doing good things. And don't we need good news? And don't we need to be reminded that there are actually good people out here doing good things? I'm your host, Shelley Wade. As with every show, we kick everything off with a few good stories inside the Goodness Report. Then we get into the do-gooder interview, where we shine the spotlight on a good person doing good out in the world. And then we wrap up the show with a good word, sending you off with some positivity, inspiration, and just plain old goodness. So let's get it started. First up, Meathead Movers, which is reportedly California's largest independently owned moving company. Listen, I lived in California for 8 years and I've never heard of them, but I'm happy that I'm hearing about them now because they are doing the good work of helping survivors of domestic violence by helping them move. If you need more info, whether you're a domestic violence survivor or a company wanting to join the good cause and donate your resources, you can go to their website, which is movetoenddv.org. By the way, Meathead Movers has been doing this honorable work for 25 years, but they're not stopping there. Since 2015, they've inspired 8 other moving companies to join them for this great cause, and they are Veterans Moving America, Fort Worth, Texas; Helping Hands Moving and Maids, Salt Lake City, Utah; We Help Cincinnati Movers, of course, Cincinnati, Ohio; also Elite Moving Services, Des Moines, Iowa; Gentle Giant Moving Company, Boston, Mass; and we can't forget about Parks Moving and Storage in Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and State College, Pennsylvania; Always Professional Moving in Phoenix, Arizona; and finally, Brown Box Movers in Dallas, Texas. I have never experienced domestic violence, but I was very moved by this story, which is why I decided to include it inside the Goodness Report. So kudos to all of the companies who are doing the great work in helping these survivors of domestic violence. And celebs are out here doing good things as well. Eminem and his daughter, through the Marshall Mathers Foundation, have wiped out about $700,000 in unpaid school lunch debt across 103 Michigan schools, helping out thousands of families in the process by lifting that financial burden off their shoulders and allowing kids to just focus on their education. What a concept. So they don't have to worry about unpaid meal balances. The Marshall Mathers Foundation aims to support disadvantaged and at-risk youth in the Detroit area. Kudos to Eminem and his daughter for that good work. And my final report for the Goodness Report is about random acts of kindness. And I want to let you know that you are seeing this extra glow on my face right now because I have my laptop open because I want to read you some of these random acts of kindness. But I was reading an article just a couple of days ago that suggested that for America's 250th birthday this year, why not perform random acts of kindness? Listen, I believe we should always perform random acts of kindness on any regular day if we can. But, why not do it for America's 250th birthday? Because listen, this country is very divided right now. Everything is so divisive and vitriolic and hateful and chaos filled. Why not combat all of that negativity with positive things like random acts of kindness? So, I want to give you some suggestions for random acts of kindness if you want to perform them any day, but especially for America's 250th birthday. And these random acts of kindness are suggested by Psychology Today. When waiting in line for a cup of coffee, offer to pay for the stranger's coffee in line in front of you or behind you. Or if you're a big baller like that, why not pay for both of them? Listen, this has been done for me before. I remember during the pandemic waiting in line at Starbucks. Everybody's way away from each other, 6 feet apart, and we've got our masks on and such, and we're waiting. So I'd already put my order in, and I went to pay, and the person behind the counter said, "Oh, the person in front of you already paid for your hot chocolate." I was like, "What?" And they had already left. They paid and left and didn't even let me know that they paid. They did not even need to have that acknowledgement. They just wanted to be kind. And it just touched my heart so much, especially during a time like that, during the pandemic, when everything was so uncertain. And so for someone to perform an act of kindness like that, really made my day. It really did. So yeah, do that if you can. Also, compliment someone on what they're wearing. I do that all the time, because I just feel like you never know what someone's going through, and you giving them a compliment could really make every bit of difference that day. Or maybe they put a whole lot into what they were wearing that day or how they looked that day, and they take pride in that. And the fact that someone acknowledges it would make them feel really good. So yeah, I believe in that. Make eye contact and smile at someone when you pass them on the street, or maybe when you join them on the elevator, or maybe when you pass them in the hallway at work. Another great idea for a random act of kindness: put snacks, travel-sized toiletries, a pair of warm socks, and warm mittens in Ziploc bags and pass them out to the homeless. Also, volunteer to serve a meal at a local soup kitchen, or volunteer your time at any organization that is meaningful to you. Another idea: donate used books to your local library or school. Also, bring a few winter coats that your family has outgrown to a nearby shelter. Another great idea for a random act of kindness: bring a dozen donuts to a nearby fire station or police station and thank them for their service. Really, any first responder, thank them for their service. Also, when you see someone in a military uniform at the airport or in a mall, I when I come into the city every day, on the train, I always see in the Oculus, it's a travel, what's the word I want to use? It's a travel hub here in Lower Manhattan. Whenever I come into the Oculus, I see first responders all the time. I see police officers. I see military people all the time, and they are there to assure that we are safe. So whenever you come in contact with them, make sure that you say thank you. Thank you for what you're doing right now. Thank you for your service, and express to them that you wish that they stay safe in their endeavors. Also, if you pass a parking meter that's about to expire, put change in it. Now, I will say, here in Manhattan, when we park, we no longer have meters where you can put change into the meter. We have to actually have an app, and we have to open that app and pay for parking in increments, like maybe 30 minutes, an hour, maybe 2 hours, and you have to pay via the app. There's no more putting change in meters. So I don't know how that works if you're trying to pay, a meter that's about to expire for someone else. I don't know, but it's worth a try. And finally, send someone you care about a text, email, or a card, and let them know that you're grateful for having them in your life. I mean, I know a lot of the times we may assume that people we love know that we love them. And of course, we know you love us, but it's always good to hear it as well. And again, those are ideas for random acts of kindness for any day, and also for America's 250th birthday, courtesy of Psychology Today. We're adding a new feature to the Goodness Report, and this episode marks the first time for the feature. I've mentioned Levon Putney's podcast, Real Pod Newscast, on my podcast before, but this is the first time that we're featuring part of his podcast as a part of my podcast. Real Pod Newscast is your bi-weekly dose of funny news stories that won't ruin your day. Every Tuesday and Friday, discover bizarre crime stories, weird news from around the world and hilarious mishaps that will make you smile. And I feel like if it's going to make you smile, it is definitely goodness. Take it away, Levon.
Now, for a couple quickies, starting with KMOV, First Alert 4 in St. Louis, reporting with video to show the smiling face of a 3-year-old boy from inside a claw machine at a rec center in Webster Grove, Missouri, St. Louis County. And this was not just any claw machine that the 3-year-old was in. No, KMOV's headline was, "It happened again. Second kid gets stuck in Webster Grove's claw machine." Yeah, again, second kid, because a 2-year-old did the same thing a couple weeks before this 3-year-old got in there. Firefighters told KMOV they now have a special toolkit ready in case things really do come in threes. I saw on Syracuse.com how WROC and WHAM in Rochester are all reporting, a long chain of reporting, but they say a Geneva police officer is now a former officer after pleading guilty to 40 drug-related charges. And this cop was a DARE officer who dared to sell drugs while on duty. 16 weekends in jail, 5 years probation, and the court told him he better not dare to apply to be a cop again.
Man, people do the darndest things, I tell you. Thanks, Levon. Be sure to subscribe to and listen to the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney. He releases new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And now it's time for the Do-Gooder interview. The American Council of the Blind is a community of people who are blind and who have low vision, who gather to learn technology, talk about books, learn crafts and cooking, and sing karaoke. Sounds like a lot of fun. And Cindy Hollis, who's the community's manager of membership engagement, brought this community together 6 years ago on March 16th, 2020. So this very week marks their 6-year anniversary. This community has changed so many lives. And as they celebrate their 6th anniversary this week and this month, we are shining the spotlight on Cindy Hollis. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you so much, Shelley, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate you agreeing to do the interview. I want to shout out to one of our New York City listeners, Angel Rodriguez, who I believe is in the Bronx. Am I correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Hi, Angel. So Angel called me on the request line and he nominated you for the Goodness Factor. And he wanted us to shine the spotlight on you for all of the good things you're doing, all of the goodness you're doing. So please let everyone know, all the viewers and listeners know more about the American Council of the Blind.
Sure. Well, the American Council of the Blind is a nonprofit organization, and it's a membership organization. Mm-hmm. We've been around since 1961, and we have affiliates all over the country, over 60 affiliated organizations. Over 40 are statewide, and then about 18 of them are special interest affiliates. Mm-hmm. So it's people who are blind or who are low vision, and they get together and share information and just really support each other. And then we do a lot of advocacy work, have conferences, just got done with our DC Leadership Conference, and several of our members went to Capitol Hill and talked about some initiatives. And so that is the whole American Council of the Blind. And then as an organization, we have different projects. And one of them is our audio description project, which is pretty amazing. It's the only one of its kind where people who are blind can find out what shows, movies, and other productions, museums have audio description where people who are blind can enjoy by listening to described content of narration of what they're watching. So we have that, but the community is something that is relatively new. It's probably our newest project, and it started because of COVID. It seems like so long ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but 6 years, as you said.
So when COVID hit and we were told we had to work from home, my primary job as manager of membership engagement is to engage with our membership and to work with our affiliated organizations on how they can retain and grow their membership and just support them. And much of what I thought needed to be done was in person. And then COVID hit. And so I had a couple of conference calls and really wanted just to share ideas on staying connected with their membership when everybody was told to be isolating.
Yes, yes.
And so we did that and just got a really strong presence, good response. And really, I noticed that there was a hunger for staying connected. And so I reached out to our leadership of our different affiliates and said, hey, if you do a conference call and you'd be willing to open it to the membership, let me know. I'll put a little, email together or something, and we'll connect everybody. So we started doing that. The next week there was 9 calls, and it kept growing. We now average 100 calls every single week.
Wow.
And these are held every day of the week, Shelley, every day, including holidays. So Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, New Year's, does not matter. And so the first year that we did this, we did our first Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving Day. People still were told to isolate, not spend holidays with family and friends. And so we did our Friendsgiving, and we do this now every year, 8 hours straight.
Wow.
And we have different people lead the call each hour, and they come up with different topics, and people join in, and they don't have to be alone on Thanksgiving, even today. And over the last 6 years, what we've learned is that the blindness community, for many, many different reasons, and was because of COVID, but not just because of COVID, tends to be often isolated already.
Okay.
And so maybe it's because of lack of transportation in their area. So they don't drive, and maybe there are no buses or ways to get around. Some of it could be economic. They can't afford to go out to dinner or lunch or, for those extras. And they're just not making those connections with other people. So it could be varying reasons. It could be other health conditions as well, right? So the community, it brings people together from all ages, from all areas. We are not just in the U.S. People from all over the world who are blind or who have low vision call in to the ACB community. And we have people from Canada, UK, South Africa, Finland, Russia, Italy, and then, of course, all over the United States.
Cindy, I mean, unbeknownst to you, when you were getting this started, you didn't know that you were going to be connecting the world.
No idea.
Oh,
No idea.
And
Yeah.
I just think it's so beautiful, everything that you've been saying, bringing people together. And the thing that occurred to me as well is that as scary as the pandemic was, it really was a blessing in disguise for you guys.
Yes.
Because you learned that the community, this was something the community really needed.
Yes. And I always said that it wouldn't stick around if it wasn't needed, right?
Yeah.
But instead of just barely hanging on, we've grown. We also, I really need to shout out when you talk about goodness and the good things people are doing. We have one of the best volunteer bases, and it is filled with people who are also blind or low vision, and we've created a training program for them to learn how to host on Zoom, and we have people who stream live our events. About 1/3 of them are streamed and played live on our internet radio station, ACB Media. So you can even listen to ACB Media on an Alexa device, or you can go to acbmedia.org. And so people who are blind are actually doing our streaming, our hosting. We also use Clubhouse, which is an audio-based platform. But all of our events originate in Zoom. And we have a group of about 100 volunteers that make this happen every single month. And that to me is really, I think, the icing on the cake, if you will. It's the beauty of community. It allows people who are blind to serve their own community. And in a really, it's difficult sometimes when we go to, if it's work, if it's church, or if it's some civic organization, or our own in-person communities. Sometimes it's hard for us to become volunteers that really feel like we're getting to make a difference. People often don't recognize our abilities and don't give us the opportunities to really share our talents. But in the ACB community, people get to give what they want to give. They share their skills, they share their talents, and they share their time. And they are the treasure behind community.
I just love all of this goodness that you're sharing with me, Cindy. It's just making me smile.
Yay!
I keep hearing you say, things like, okay, we're not always given the opportunity to share our gifts and talents because people don't consider that you can do certain things. What advice can you give to the larger community where we can be more inclusive to what you guys do?
Talk to us and ask us questions. I think a lot of times there's assumptions made instead of just going to a person and saying, would you like to sign up to volunteer? What kinds of things would you be able to do? What kind of assistance might you need? Right? Then you're turning it to the person to give you those answers. And maybe they're not comfortable to do it, but maybe they are. And
but you never know unless you
ask.
Yeah. So is there anyone in particular you'd like to shout out to or any other information? I know you have some audio that we want to share with everyone. Before we do that, is there anything else you wanted to say or share with our viewers and listeners?
I want to say that the ACB community is now celebrating 27,000 events since we started 6 years ago.
Wow.
And that's a lot of time together. And you mentioned some of the things that we do, but really it's just open-ended, like anything that people want to bring to the community to share. And if they need support in learning how to facilitate a call, we provide that as well. I want to thank all of our volunteers and those that come to community. And I want to say that if you know someone who is blind or low vision or in process of losing their sight, we also have peer support calls, and it's a community of people that want to welcome in new people. Our motto is safe, respectful, welcoming. We are for people of all ages. I've been in an event where we had someone age 12, someone age 92, and they were participating in the, excuse me, they were participating in that same event and having a good time, and both contributing greatly. So if you know of anybody, please send them our way, and the information will be shared in the little recording that you'll be sharing. So
you're not only bringing the world together, you're bringing generations together.
Absolutely.
I love it. What's
and
your
there's
website?
And there's life after blindness. I think that's, if I could share anything, it would be that if you are losing your vision or have recently, or if you know of somebody, there is hope. There is life. And we want to help you find it in whatever way we can. And often it's through connecting with others and learning what others are doing And so, please join us.
I actually did want to get some advice from you, Cindy,
Sure.
for the podcast. I just recently, this is actually the first season where I've started offering this, producing this video version of the Goodness Factor podcast. The original version of the podcast is audio. Is there anything more that I could be doing to accommodate the blind community or the low vision community?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but, if you had any, right now you're just having conversations, not just, but conversations with people. But if there was actually activity and demonstrating something, some sort of description of, articulating what's happening is always appreciated. So that's the only thing I could think of when you add video to
There's
it.
action than describing what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you for that advice.
You bet.
Okay, so Cindy, please introduce the audio you'd like to share with us.
Sure. We just had a town hall. We do this every 3 months, and people shared about community, what it means to them. And so we took clips from that. And because we are celebrating our 6 years, we put this little promo together. And Angel, who likes to describe himself as our ACB community angel, and who nominated me for this. So I appreciate you taking him up on that. He is one of the first voices you're going to hear right after the initial introduction from my coworker, Michael. So, and then there's several other people that you're going to hear.
Okay. So thanks again, Angel Rodriguez, for nominating Cindy. And Cindy, thank you for stopping by the Goodness Factor. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Thanks.
6 years of ACB community in the words of people who make it what it is.
This is a sun-shining moment celebrating 6 years of ACB community.
Community is just so welcoming.
There's something in community for everybody.
That's what this is all about.
Community means support.
When you lose a loved one or a job, community is there to help us all, and we should be all be ready and willing and able to help others.
One of the things that makes community so strong is people are learning.
It means so much to so many.
Drop an email to community@acb.org and ask to be added to our daily schedule email list. We'd love to have you.
Community is family.
Community is wonderful.
ACB Community is brought to you by the American Council of the Blind. Visit us online at acb.org or call 800-424-8666.
And that's the do-gooder interview. Time for the good word as I return with the glow on my face from the laptop. I didn't memorize this good word, but it is a good word that you just got to hear. So I'm going to be reading it from my laptop. When nothing goes right, go left. Oh, wait, that's my left. Go left. If you've done any amount of living, then you've had a moment or two when nothing seems to be going right in your life. We've all had them. So what do you do when nothing's going right? Maybe you should go left. In those times in my life when I felt like nothing I was doing was connecting, it didn't feel organic. It didn't feel like the natural order of things. Because I'm really big on that. When I'm going after a goal, I'm really going after that goal. But when it starts feeling like nothing is connecting, like I'm banging my head up against a brick wall, I got to stop. I got to reassess. I got to regroup because this does not feel right. So I do that. I take a step back and I change directions. It's just like when they say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade or make lemon meringue pie or make limoncello. Whatever kind of goodness you can make out of life giving you those lemons. But what you don't do is you don't give up. As the famous philosopher Prince, my favorite artist of all time, as Prince once said, you got to try a new position, something that'll make it all right. So when nothing goes right, go left. And that's the good word as we wrap up another episode of The Goodness Factor. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you've already subscribed to the YouTube channel. If not, please do subscribe to The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade YouTube channel. Be sure to also subscribe to the audio version, and that's available wherever you get your audio. And I would love for you to be on the podcast, the video version or the audio version. I want to hear your good news. Maybe you just got married. Maybe you had a great grade on a paper you did. Maybe you got a raise. Maybe you got a new job. Whatever good news you have to share or whatever you're grateful for, I'd love for you to share that with me. You can record it like in landscape, like I'm recording right now on your phone, and send the file to me. You can DM it to me. Or you can record in your voice notes on your phone and record an audio message and share the good news with me or what you're grateful for with me. Just DM those files to me via social media. The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade on Facebook, or The Goodness Factor on Instagram. That's also where you can follow us on social media. Again, that's The Goodness Factor on Instagram and The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade on Facebook. And share with everyone you know that there is a good news podcast out here, an escape from the madness. They can watch the video version and they can listen to the audio version. I will talk to you next week for the new episode. Love you so much. Mwah.